Hello and welcome everyone to the Rivals Racing League's broadcast of the RRL Offline Championship from Talladega Super Speedway. This is the first of two dual races that we'll see. We have 57 laps here for today's race. Here's command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engine!
And we'll go ahead and give you the lineup. But before we do that, I'd like to mention that I'm joined in the booth today by LT
I drive cars.
and Jacob.
Hi.
I think you two have had the same introduction phrase the last three races in a row, but that doesn't matter. We'll get to the starting lineup.
Well,
Marcus Ambrose, who was strong at Daytona, is back here once again, another plate track running up front, qualified on pole, and alongside him will be Jeff Gordon.
we got Trevor Main and Michael Waltrip in row 2.
You have Dave Blaney, who was strong at Homestead last night. Well, really last week, but then alongside him is Matt Kenseth.
Then we have Joey Logano and Jimmy Johnson in row 4.
Then we have Jamie McFlurry and Mr. Extends himself, Kevin Conway.
You got Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch, 11th and 12th.
David Gillen and Stephen Wallace in row 7.
Almadinger and Mark Truex in row 8.
Row 9 consists of Brian Vickers and Joe Nemechek, the GOAT himself.
David Rudiman, who has had a couple bad weeks in a row, starts alongside a driver who was inches away from winning the last race at Chicagoland, Robbie Gordon.
Then we got Jeff Burton and jet driver man himself, Juan Pablo Montoya.
You got Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mark Martin, two teammates, 23rd and 24th.
And we have David Reagan and two-time winner this season, Clint Boyer, 25th and 26th.
You moved that, I can't even see, but it doesn't matter. We basically named everybody.
We got Labonte, Kane, Keselowski, another Labonte, Bobby this time, running out the top 30. Here's the rest of the field. I'd like to mention Kevin Harvick starting from the back. He always ends up working his way to the front. We'll see if it takes him a while. And Regan Smith starting from 37th. We'll see how well things turn out for him today. 47 laps here for Duel 1 at Talladega. Long way to go. We've seen some of the fastest speeds ever hit at this racetrack in recent memory. And here they come
green
into the
flag.
red zone. Green flag is out at Talladega.
Gordon got a really nice start there, but it's not going to be enough to get cleared of Marcus Ambrose.
Already 3 wide in the back as Jimmy Johnson tries to take it around the outside, but he has no help.
Tony Stewart's another guy that jumped out of line.
From Trevor Bayne on the bottom. He won that Daytona 500 back in 2011 and almost won that truck race here at Talladega.
And I believe we're 3 wide for second.
3 by 3 by 3.
Here they come down the front straightaway. Trevor Bayne looking to lead lap 1 as Marcus Ambrose has quickly fallen from the front row further back in the field. I would like to mention you'll see speeds here of upwards of 210 miles an hour in this race. These drivers have a lot of RPMs to work with, more than they usually do. It's got some fast cars. That's why you won't really see them tandem drafting here today, running in more of a pack, but it is very aggressive racing nonetheless. As down the backstretch, wrong camera there, sorry, Dave Blaney trying to take the lead away from Trevor Bayne.
Yeah.
Right behind him.
It's playing out like at Daytona. I feel like they're being really aggressive for it to be early in the race. Personally, if we was in the pack, I feel like, yeah, we're not even a quarter of the way through, and they're going 3 and 4 wide. This is just a recipe for disaster. And Mr. Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity is working his way up after a couple of bad weeks.
Yep,
Slowly
Brian
getting up.
Vickers and Allmendinger coming with him.
You got Logano leading that high side, but it's not going to even work. Right now, the bottom lane is the place to be right now.
As McMurray goes up to block the top, let's go on board with Joey Logano to the visor cam.
Trying to get up to Denny Hamlin and try to give him a little bit of push. Not tandem drafting, but the air will push Denny Hamlin, but I don't think it will get there anytime soon.
Got a couple drivers up there as well. Jamie McMurray, Trevor Bayne jumping up to that top group. provide a bit of assistance to them. They're just not making really much headway this early in the race. Back up to the front, you can see AJ Allmendinger has taken the top spot with help from Brian Vickers and David Rudeman.
Dale Jr. is
Last week's
really
winner,
good
Dale
here.
Jr. I was going to talk about him.
3 wide here for third place. Now Jeff Burton moves to the inside. How long do you guys think they can hang on like this?
Well, now what you're about to say it, and well, go ahead, Jake.
I think they'll make it to at least lap 10, between lap 10 and lap 20, and then they'll die.
Imagine this race goes all the way green.
That's
That'd be crazy.
impossible.
Well, you know what? Well, we've had a green flag race all the way to the end 2 weeks in a row. That's going to end here or our next duel because, I mean, yeah, I think the way how aggressive they're racing 3, 4 wide eventually is going to run out of space, and Dale Jr. is falling all the way to the back of the pack.
Yeah, he is
He's
not having a
waiting.
fun time here at Talladega.
I think
he
he's
might just be
waiting.
waiting. Yeah. Joe Nemechek
They're
and Brad
on.
Keselowski back up front here.
Jeff Burton, after a heartbreaking loss at Homestead, now trying to get as many laps as led here and maybe possibly the win.
Remember, Burton was one of the strong cars along with Marcus Ambrose in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, he seems to have found something here. Has now Terry. Oh, that could have been big right there.
Dale Jr. has just lost the draft.
Oh, Kurt Busch is in the wall on the outside groove right there.
But yeah, Dale Jr. has lost the draft. Now he'll be back in it with a 4-car pack, but that's not going to be enough. They're probably riding around until these guys all wreck. That's if they do wreck.
Back around to the stripe, Joe Nemechek trying the outside lane as now the 36 moves to the inside. Trying to get some help from AJ Allmendinger. So they're 4 wide further back in the pack there. Kyle Busch all the way up next to the outside wall. Now he's got help from Juan Pablo Montoya. So look at the field spread out down the back straightaway.
Kevin Conway is one of the people that started up there in the mid-pack to the front, and he is way at the back.
Like Dale Jr., he might be waiting.
The thing I see is there's a lot of familiar faces up here at the front, like just like how the 500 was. The guys like Andy Lally, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton.
Regan Smith.
Regan Smith, of course. He's
back.
Regan Smith is up in the top 10 like almost every week. It's going to be heartbreaking if he doesn't get a win this season.
Well, if I was Regan Smith, this is not a good time to be up front with the racing like this. 3, 4 wide as Montoya's in the wall, and Clint Boyer was on the apron. Looks like they'll all keep it straight back there, but that was looking pretty ugly here for a moment.
I thought they were 4 wide for a second. Comes Andy Lally to the inside of Regan Smith and AJ.
Another guy that wasn't able to race the first plate race was Brad Keselowski and AJ Allmendinger. I believe they were the 2 first cars to DNF, and I think it was both on lap 1.
Dave Blaney is tandem drafting as close as he can with Jeff Burton right now.
Doesn't look like he can quite get to his bumper, but there is a small 3-car breakaway as the rest of the field is side by side behind him. And now Gordon pushing the 00 out. So maybe he can make a run as they're side by side once again. Andy Lally looking to take second place.
Yeah, there's a little pack for him back there with Kevin Conway, Montoya, and Dale Jr. It was someone else. They believe it was Kurt Busch, but like you said, it might be waiting because this racing is going to be a wreck eventually.
Then again, we said that about Chicagoland, but I get this is Talladega, and it's entirely different beast.
And it's notorious for it. That's the only reason why I said. Because Chicagoland, eventually they spread it out. Here, ain't going to happen.
Meanwhile, Allmendinger trying to lead a 3-car group on the outside lane. But it just doesn't look like they're really making much of any headway towards the lead. Just kind of stuck there on the outside lane. So now Allmendinger abandons that groove.
How about Kevin Harvick? He started at the back, and he is slowly making his way up.
Kevin Harvick always making his way forward in these races. As now here comes the 00 battling. But man, Jeff Burton, how many races has he been up front early and dominated for the first half of the race? He did it at Daytona. He did it at Atlanta. He did it at Homestead. And it looks like he's trying to do the same here in Duel 1 at Talladega.
Hopefully, he can finally break through and get a win.
Well, McMurray trying to put an end to that thought as now here he comes to the inside lane looking to take the lead away.
But Travis Quaffle is going to go with him. Jimmy Johnson down there as well.
Yeah, the 00 was nowhere close enough to give a push to the 31.
Here's David Reagan.
Jimmy thought about blocking, but he decided not to. And now Jimmy's going to be in the sucker hole.
Wide almost. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Ooh,
Reagan
boy.
cut Stephen Wallace off. That could have been a big one if that had happened right at the front of the field.
So a lot of drivers out there that would love to see a big wreck and get through it. You know, drivers like David Rudiman, other drivers, Regan Smith, because if a lot of big names get taken out, it can definitely shake up the point.
Stephen Wallace 3 wide for the race lead.
Got another line starting to form at the very top, the top. Now Terry Labonte looking for the race lead with a push from Ryan Newman.
Ryan Newman right tucked up behind his rear bumper.
Not anymore.
Bit of a gap forming there as Stephen Wallace has no help entering the corner. Terry Labonte to the lead, but now here comes Ryan Newman to the inside lane, looking to make that spot up. We've made it longer than I thought they would, I'll be honest.
There's Ryan. Thought we would have had a really early wreck.
Oh, here comes Boyer.
I'd expect the wreck to happen in like a few laps, but as of right now, I think it'll be around between lap 15 and lap like 25.
If they do go green, I think we might see our first wreck. Like if they don't wreck out here, come into pit road, because a lot of people come into pit road and everyone on the outside trying to come down. It can cause a lot of stack ups that we've seen numerous times before. Coming to pit road here in a big pack is not easy.
Well, here's the thing. Fuel strategy, these guys can make it about 45 to 50 laps on a tank of gas. So that's the question here. Can they make it? I imagine that once again, a couple people will try to stretch it. But if we see someone running out of gas, we could see a caution flag due to somebody running in the back of them.
Most definitely. And a name we haven't talked about leading up at the front all season, Brad Keselowski.
Well, he was up there at Chicagoland.
Oh, yeah, he was.
But how about Clint Boyer here? Looking to be a 3-time winner this season.
Already.
Clint Boyer is just... Never mind.
No, go ahead.
No, never mind. I was going to say Clint Boyer is just out here not letting anyone pass him. But as soon as I said that, David Gilliland, I want to say, jumped down.
Still a long way to go here at Talladega. Now Martin Truex Jr., Paul Menard showing up at the front of the field.
Johnson right behind him as well.
Pole sitter Marcus Ambrose has fallen to last.
Last in the pack.
Well, yeah, last in the big pack.
We only see like 3 wide. Like only 4 cars are 3 wide. Like at the start of the race, we had like 7 cars 3 wide. Now it's kind of calmed down now. As I say that.
Yes. So, Bim, how was our second pack going that with Kurt Busch, Dale Jr., and Juan Pablo Montoya?
Oh.
Kurt Busch is going to slam down soon.
What happened to Kurt Busch? Did he have damage?
I don't know, but he is way off the pace.
53-second lap time by Montoya.
Oh, maybe something did happen. You
Let's
want
go
to
back
try
and
and
take
look
a
back?
look. Yeah, let's take a
I'm about
look
to
and
say it was
see.
a wall. But
Yeah,
this
but
last
then
lap,
again,
53? 1 minute? What happened?
Oh,
oh,
Montoya came down pit road. I guess he decided he was going to come down pit road, take some fuel there, maybe try to make it all the way to the end. But
what happened to Kurt Busch?
I don't think this is a position that you want to be in. Yeah, Kurt Busch will get lapped before this is over. He is about 3 seconds off the pace because he is not in the pack. And how about Paul Menard with a huge gap?
Not for long though.
Daytona winner Robbie Gordon up into the top 5 for the first time today. With 30 laps left here at Talladega.
Laps is a big track, but laps tick by quick. Another thing is, it's fun to see how everyone gets shuffled. Like guys like Jay McMurray, Reed Smith, Jeb Burton was all in the pack earlier, and now they have dropped to the back of this pack.
Now same for pole sitter Marcus Ambrose, and no one can catch Paul Menard. Look at that gap. He has held that gap steady for about a lap now. Question is, how quickly can Robbie Gordon build a run to get to his back bumper? We know Robbie Gordon will waste no time attempting a pass on Paul Menard. Let's see here. He's going to have some help from Joey Logano and the 43 here. Well, now Logano's going to go to the inside with help from AJ Allmendinger. Man, Logano's got a big run to the inside. And now here comes Keselowski and
Keselowski.
Truex.
Take a look at our boy Kurt Busch. Where is he right now as they exit 4?
He is
Uh-oh.
just ahead of them.
That's not good. That got those guys on the inside or outside to try and get grouped up on the high side or bottom lane quickly. If all of them want to get by him, but I doubt.
This might be the caution flag here. They can't figure out a way to get around Kurt Busch quickly. I mean, look at his speed. He's running 198 down the backstretch. Paul Menard 208, 10 miles an hour faster down the back straightaway.
Catch him before
14 miles an hour.
you might catch him before the start finish line.
Now, I doubt that,
Eh.
but they might catch him right at the start-finish line because look at how quickly the field is closing in.
Yeah, they'll catch him on the backstretch. Actually,
Got Bobby Labonte up here. Hey, and here's the pole sitter. Back to the top 10. In the top
Yeah.
5 even.
not for
Oh,
long though.
Burton and
Oh,
Regan Smith.
Uh-oh, here they come. Kurt Busch. Let's go from the rear, let's go on board here with Paul Menard as they close in.
16 miles an hour on the backstretch.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
they've got the draft now. Here they come off the corner, and now Truex going to try to maybe make it 3 wide here. Yes, he will.
How would the rest of
Still
the
in the
field
lead.
decide?
Oh!
Contact.
Oh, that could have been bad right there.
That would have been a huge crash, and now this is not
Keselowski.
good for Menard. Not good at all for Menard because they are going to get a huge run. Look at how much slower he is without the draft.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they're
God.
gonna swallow Menard whole here.
Paul
Kurt Busch.
Menard going to get passed by Kurt Busch. Look at this run.
213 miles an hour on the backstretch. Keselowski helping out his Penske teammate who's a lap down. 2 laps down, I think, because I think Kurt Busch went down pit road. Here comes Casey Kane.
And now here comes Truex. And look at that. Right when the pack caught Menard, he got right back up to speed. So the energy with this pack is huge. Probably because there's still quite a few cars left. No big ones so far. No minor wrecks either.
Not even like close ones. Other than Kurt Busch pulling the block on Vortex Jr.
Close we've got to incident was Montoya taking down the whole fencing on the corner, just riding the wall. Speaking of them, where is that other pack?
So they're
Turn
entering
one.
turn 1, they're entering turn 3. So about half the track behind him with still just over halfway left. I think there's a good chance they catch them.
Definitely. You're not.
That is if they don't have a caution before then.
Not gonna. I don't really think they'll have a caution.
I don't really think so neither. They've ran super aggressive, been able to not wreck, but as the race goes on, eventually they're going to get a lot more aggressive, tend to make
Casey
mistakes.
Kane. Casey Kane, after a disappointing loss at Gateway, after leading most of the race, is up here up front at Talladega, trying to get a win here, as well as Stephen Wallace, who was close to a win at Chicagoland. But this track really is a place where anyone can win. But Paul Menard trying to join his teammate Clint Boyer as a two-time winner this season.
Okay, just gonna warn you, it's 6:01 now, so in 59 minutes I'm gonna have to. But this race will be done. But yeah, I'll only sadly be able to do this race.
All right, here comes Casey Kane trying to be the first driver in a long time to get around the 27 machine, and he's going to do so with the push from fellow Toyota Stephen Wallace.
I heard isn't RCR kind of like DEI, so seeing Paul Menard be able to lead so many laps is not that surprising.
RCR usually does well, plate tracks, especially Talladega. But now he is falling back as Mark Martin takes him 3 wide through the middle groove. We have a new leader, Casey Kane.
And in a few seconds or a few laps, Stephen Wallace, never mind, McMurray.
McMurray tried to get to his inside, but that move didn't work as Stephen Wallace shut the door. Things are starting to get more and more aggressive as this race goes on. Menard on the outside with help from David Rudman, but they are not really going to go anywhere. Now Ryan Newman up to the front.
I heard there's like a track called Oakland Stadium. Isn't that like a track with 60 degrees of banking?
I have no clue.
I found a
Here
picture.
you are.
If it is, it would have more tracks than more banking than Talladega does. Which currently Talladega, well, actually no, Bristol has more banking than Talladega.
Isn't they like the same?
No,
Yeah,
Talladega, the track here is 33 degrees of banking. I believe Bristol's is 36. Oh, do we have a problem for the 36 car?
I think he went down
the road.
I think he did.
No. Wait,
Right,
his
his last lap was his fastest.
Oh.
I think he has a problem. Man, tough break for Dave Blaney. He was running so well.
Could he overheat it?
That's what I was thinking. He might have had an engine failure. As up front, we have Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson. We have 20 laps to go in this race. So you know what time it is. Time for ones to watch. Jake, you're up first.
This is gonna be extremely difficult because there's a lot of comers and goers, but I'm gonna go with AJ. Actually, scratch that. I'm going with Jeff Burton because every lap there's like some change in the pack, and if you're in the back, you want to be in the back if there's gonna be no caution, because then you can finally get back up there when the time is right. And I think Jeff Burton will be up there when the time is right. Underdog, it probably will be Michael Waltrip. Same thing about Jeff Burton, because how far back he is. Unless they get moved to the outside, they'll be there when the time is right. Dave Blaney has just left the road, so his race will continue.
All right, LT.
Well, like Jake said, it's extremely difficult because everyone keeps shuffling. But for my pick, I'm gonna go with that 27 car. Paul Menard. I mean, Paul Menard got to the front. He stayed out there, I believe, longer than anyone. He proved that he was able to hold everyone off. So coming to the final laps, that's what you need as a driver. You need to be able to hold them off. Underdog, well, I don't really think it's an underdog, but Regan Smith. I mean, Regan Smith, it's somewhere, always in the picture, every single week. His heart has been broken so many times this season. Came so close to getting the win, but I finally think that Regan Smith is going to find a way and get his first win at Daytona. Talladega.
All right, well, my pick for a race winner, he's running up front right now. Might be a bit early, but I think Robbie Gordon is going to sweep the first 2 plate races here. He's running up front, has a strong car, and seems like one of the very few drivers that has actually been able to hold his ground on the outside groove, which is going to become very important as racing becomes more and more aggressive as this race goes forward. For my underdog pick, I'm going to pick, ironically, you wouldn't think it'd be an underdog with where he started, Marcus Ambrose. Marcus Ambrose, other than his time up, he quickly fell out of the lead when he was up front early at the race. Briefly got back in the top 5 for maybe a lap or two, but he hasn't really been able to get even into the top 15 ever since then. He's stuck on the outside lane now, but with 17 laps to go, he still has plenty of time to get back to the front. I think Marcus Ambrose could still be a threat to win this race. Those were the ones to watch as Paul Menard has taken the lead back.
Paul Menard is just so fast and able to make moves that seem like anyone else can make. But with that, Paul Menard has won Bristol, and he's been running pretty consistent ever since. But speaking of consistency, let's talk about non-consistency. Dale Earnhardt Jr. absolutely dominated Chicago. He led every single lap. I think that's the first thing anyone has ever done this season. And now he is currently in 37th, so not a good day for the 88 team at Talladega.
Yeah, they are still, they're about less than a second slower than the lead pack here. So I doubt that the leaders will catch them, but if they do not get a caution, then they are not going to move up.
Speaking of, well, not underdogs, but Andy Lally is coming up third. He had a great run at Daytona, but he had a very, very scary crash. I believe Andy Lally was the one that started rolling down the back straightaway.
Believe so. And he's looking to take second place from Stephen Wallace. And I think David Ruderman has finally found his way to get back to the front of one of these races. And
If
look who that is there.
Regan Smith.
And Jeff Burton.
Always fine. Regan Smith and Jeff Burton is like the Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick in 2020. No matter what track they go to, they always somehow find their way at the front. Well, unless if it's Kevin Harvick at the Daytona Road Course, but that's a different story.
Hey, look, Paul Menard's about to get past here. Andy Lally to the top spot.
Upset winner, because Andy Lally is like at the bottom of the point. Never mind, he's getting in the sucker hole. Oh, Regan Smith is going to join him, surprisingly.
And Brian Vickers to the lead
To
with
the
help
lead.
from Burton.
Brian Vickers ran pretty good at Chicagoland. Seems to be keeping the momentum and running good here at Talladega as well.
Trevor Bain and Ryan Newman behind him.
Will we actually go caution free here at Talladega? I think so. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna wreck, but I think it's gonna be on the white flag. And let's hope it's not gonna be like Brad Keselowski's or Ryan Newman's crash. Maybe like a minor spin, like what happened last year at Talladega on
Well,
the final lap.
if I'm being honest, even a minor spin can turn to the big one because the amount of cars we have, if someone spins, they're almost bound to collect a bunch of cars. Because 3 wide for the lead. Yeah, the intensity is definitely starting to pick up here as the race is starting to wind down.
Well, Ryan Newman is out front here, just in front of Jeff Burton, as now Brad Keselowski looking to the inside lane to try to take the lead away. This time by, we'll have 12 laps to go in Duel 1 at Talladega. It's been an exciting race so far, but we've still got perhaps the most exciting part of the race still left to go.
Yeah, think about it. Drivers like Brad Keselowski, AJ Allmendinger, Andy Lally, Greg Biffle. At this point, they really got nothing to lose because right now I don't really think they have a shot to win a championship because they're all the way at the bottom. And Jeff Burton.
Jeff Gordon's on the apron. Looks like they'll gather it up there, but that was almost bad.
That could have been very bad.
Oh my god. And now there's 3 packs, actually 2 packs now. Mark Martin taking the lead.
Clint Boyer with him.
Boyer looking to win 3 races this season. Oh, and the Mark Martin, the race leader, is coming to pit road. Did he have a problem? I mean, no one's coming with him, so it doesn't look like really it was a planned strategy call.
Maybe he thought he was going to bring a lot more people down if he Like, was actually trying to use
Seemed
some
like a
strategy.
seemed like a late call there. Mark Martin
What
was
do you guys
almost.
think about the pit strategy now? Mark Martin just pitted from the lead. I think that means he's pretty confident that there will be pit stops, or that there will be a caution.
Well, you can't really bet on a caution based on the last 2 weeks, but they're going 4 wide.
Oh, four
All right,
wide.
we might have a caution, but based on how they're racing,
Like a low trip. I think
based on
they're
how
both
they're
Oh, they're
racing,
all
refitting.
slowing
Yeah, there
down.
are.
we got more pit stops. More pit stops early on.
Yeah, I
There
don't
was a
think
major checkup in the middle of the corner.
Surprised
did
we didn't
not
have a wreck,
happen.
and Jay McMurray leads this lap. How to cut you off
Oh,
there?
the
Oh, we have
caution
Caution.
is out. The caution is out. Let's see for what. I do
Uh,
not see an incident here.
what
no.
Oh,
was
there it is.
oh
Kyle
Kyle
Busch
with
has been
damage.
Kyle Busch has been involved in some sort of major problem down on
Oh,
pit road
Pit
here.
road. Caution coming down pit road.
We did not make it green all the way to the end. Let's see what happens here.
oh, Paul
Okay,
Menard.
Paul
Oh,
Menard is going to almost. Oh, right here. Martin Truex is going to clip Logano. They get turned into the wall. And Kyle Busch, I believe, is going to run in the back of Joey Logano right there and turn the 20 car around. Tough break for Joey Logano. And that brings out the caution. I wonder how many drivers are going to get a penalty.
Yeah, that's what I was going to consider. A lot of drivers might have been speeding out pit road, slow down from 205 all the way
Well,
down.
I think the caution came out before many of these drivers actually got to pit road.
See the caution
I
light.
think
Caution
Kyle
lights are
Busch.
on.
Go ahead.
Okay, let's go up to another person. Right here, pause. Let's see if the caution lights are on.
Light is
Caution
green.
light is caution lights come on. Right. Light's still green.
There.
Right.
Now,
And nobody made it. Nobody made it to pit road.
Gordon was the closest, and he didn't make it.
So there might be a handful of penalties here.
A lot of
Look at
them.
how many drivers. That's a lot of people that'll probably be getting a penalty here. Well,
That's
watch
gonna be
right here.
tough for
Martin
those
Truex
guys.
didn't. I just think Truex maybe didn't know Logano was going to check up that much.
But thankfully, Logano's and Kyle Busch's races will continue, but their chances of winning are definitely less.
Surprisingly, it was only a one-car spin.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, as hard as it was racing, you would have thought that the whole field would have wrecked by now. But
Well, cautions might breed cautions.
speaking of it, Pim. All right, so Pim, you're a driver up there in the front. Is able to put your car at the front, and we're coming. We're gonna be less than 10 to go when this race restarts. What you're gonna do?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, you have to go for it here. You can't just hope that everything ends up just kind of, like working out for you like in the beginning of the race. You can't just ride around in the back. You have to go for it. We're inside 10 laps to go. And if they make it to 5 laps to go, a caution would end the race. Let's take one more look at this onboard Jeff Burton here. So Jeff Burton did a good job getting around the incident. So yeah, drivers like Paul Menard probably getting bopped with the speeding penalty here. Or not speeding, but penalty for pitting when pits were closed.
It's gonna be messed up because they're gonna have to make their
Yeah,
penalty.
green flag pit stops right here. And did a couple of drivers stayed out?
Couple of
Tony
drivers
Stewart.
It's gonna be really bad because they're gonna have to serve their penalties under green.
Oh, yeah,
Dale
that's
Jr.
right. They can't pit under caution here, so this is not good for them.
Dale Jr., Kevin Conway, and Juanjo Montoya's races are not done yet.
And it looks like McMurray may be a fuel only or 2-tire pit stop here. And he will be the first car off pit road. We'll see where he lines up.
Right in front of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, it'll be way in the back here.
14th, that's not that bad.
And do these guys that stayed out have enough gas to make it all the way?
Well,
Maybe
we're getting a caution, so a lot of them might be saving under the caution, hoping that they can stretch it.
I
Because a
was just
lot of
about to say that.
drivers, yeah, a lot of drivers stayed out even when they came down pit road. So, and Kyle Busch, the hood of that car is gone.
This is going to be an issue here. We've got the lap down car of Kurt Busch going to be starting up front. But let's take a look at some of the drivers who stayed out. Tony
Kurt
Stewart
Busch
has had quite a few just quiet runs, including a top 10
was
last
my
week. Casey Kane up here, Kevin Conway. Oh, Kevin Conway's a lap down. Same for Dave Blaney and Montoya. But there we got Jeff Gordon in third, Brian Vickers in fourth, Terry Labonte in fifth, Marcus Ambrose, Paul Menard. You know what I think happened? I think some of these drivers that pitted, like Jeff Gordon.
served their penalty when they pit it.
Well, the rules. Oh, are these drivers pitting? They are.
They were out of fuel.
I think Casey Kane. Yeah, Casey Kane ran out of gas, and that
So
snapped
will
the
they get
field
a
up.
penalty? Will they get a penalty for pitting this time by, or will they just drop to the back?
I think they'll just be dropping to the back here. So that'll leave Jeff Gordon in the lead. I think what happened, the rule states that you won't get a penalty if you just drive straight through pit road. So I bet Jeff Gordon, Brian Vickers, Terry Labonte, a bunch of those drivers did not take tires or fuel. They just ran straight through pit road and decided, we lost all our track position. Might as well go ahead and stay out.
Yeah, you're right. But I think I saw a couple of the guys that went down pit road definitely entered their stalls. So if they have to come down and serve the penalty under green, possibly we can see another wreck coming down pit road.
Well, I think if you notice, there aren't all that many drivers that pitted. Not all of them are up here, so I think quite a few had to serve a penalty. But we'll see. There's going to be 4 lap cars in front of the race leaders.
Well, right now, if I'm the race leader, I don't care about the lap cars. If they stay in front of me, I just get free draft. And if they get behind me and pushing me, I'm getting a free push. Because right now, lap cars can honestly be a help to drivers like Jeff Gordon, Brian Vickers, and Terry Labonte. If they can
The
draft up
problem
there
is
too.
if they help some of those drivers, it will in effect hurt other drivers.
Well, definitely. If your drivers further back, like Marcus Ambrose, Paul Menard, other drivers, Andy Lally, David Gilliland, lap cars can definitely hurt you if they help the leaders. So definitely going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
We got some of our picks. Marcus Ambrose, Paul Menard, Robbie Gordon up front. What are you guys thinking about the end of this race? Oh! Oh no! Andy Lally!
And goodbye, Andy Lally.
Andy Lally with an engine failure coming to the green flag.
Oh no!
Disappointing turn of events as we're coming here 6 laps to go. If they make it to 5, the race would end under caution. Here they come. Green flag is out, and Brian Vickers already trying to get around Jeff Gordon.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this handles and what the lap cars do here.
Marcus
coming
Ambrose
Conway.
losing positions as Paul Menard wasting no time trying to get back to the top spot. 5 to go this time by from Talladega.
Remember, they're all single file, so it's going to take a long time to see them going like 3x3x3.
And are we
How
done
is
with
that?
cautions? Oh, and here we go. Brian Vickers for the lead with help from Terry Labonte.
And he's also getting some draft off of the 42 car.
And 37. Or 6.
36.
There's going to be the big question here is, are we done with cautions for this race? As Brian Vickers trying to get around the lap cars.
Where's the
5 to
real
go.
Dale Jr. already losing the draft again?
Many drivers losing the draft.
A long line of cars here. Paul Menard getting held up by the 42. Jeff Gordon getting held up by the 22. It did not play out in his
Gordon's
favor.
race is over at this point. Here comes
Terry
Terry
Labonte
Labonte.
keeping out. but he has no help.
This is for the top spot here. Well, neither of them really have any help. Marcus Ambrose is not quite there yet. And keep in mind, these two drivers, Kevin Conway and Dave Blaney, are battling for a point, and they are in the top 10, I believe, in the standings, or at least close to it. So they do not, it's not just 1 point. They're battling for a couple points here, depending on who finishes in front of the other one. So these leaders are going to have to deal with these lap cars battling for position right in front of them.
And go file throughout the entire field, besides a few of them. Well, not the entire field, the entire front.
Marcus Ambrose with a push from Greg Biffle, trying to go up behind the 32 of Terry Labonte. Now here comes Biffle. Greg Biffle has had a pretty abysmal season other than Chicagoland, but did he get some momentum? And there's Ambrose, who came back from the back after being the pole sitter, and now with a lap car in front of him, his race is pretty much over.
Here comes Robbie Gordon.
Robbie Gordon, the Daytona 500 winner.
My pick to win the race. Up here, he's taking the lead.
McMurray's not going to have enough room to make it 4 wide.
No, he is not.
3 laps to go.
Something tells me a lot of these leaders are not going to be happy about the lap traffic in the way. And speaking of lap traffic, they still have one more lap car out front of the race leader. But now here comes McMurray for the lead, and Mark Martin behind him. And is that Regan Smith I see moving up to the top?
It sure is. Stephen Wallace, Michael Waltrip. Michael Waltrip.
Maybe McMurray to the lead. He's going to get on the lap car.
Oh, there this time by.
Mark Martin trying to make it 3 wide up top is not going to be enough.
Yeah, the lap traffic is really hurting most of these leaders. And now here comes Stephen Wallace. McMurray left the bottom open.
Michael Waltrip to help him.
For the lead, Stephen Wallace.
Lap down, bringing Regan Smith with him.
Yep.
Can Regan Smith get up there before the end of the race?
Michael Waltrip to the inside. Here comes Regan Smith trying to make it 3 wide.
Could this be Regan Smith's day? Ironically, it could come at a plate track.
I don't think it will be.
Michael Waltrip has been so good at plate racing his entire NASCAR career, but he has to deal with the lap car trying to get around him.
Here comes Regan Smith.
White flag this time by for Michael Waltrip. If he can just hang on for one more lap, he'll be a 2-time winner this season.
Oh, this is not over yet.
I think it is. I don't think Regan Smith is going to get around him.
Well, I think Regan Smith, if Montoya tries to make a pass, can Regan Smith use that as an advantage? But Montoya has no momentum.
Oh, no. I think it's all over for Regan Smith because Joe Nemechek is on his inside.
The lap traffic is not giving anyone a chance to get to Michael Waltrip.
It's that I think
Michael Waltrip. I think Michael Waltrip just won.
Another heartbreaker for Regan Smith. Off the corner, Michael Waltrip. It's going to become a 2-time winner this season, winning 2-1 at Talladega.
What a race. What a race.
Record flag. And Joe Nemechek will get another consistent top 5 finish.
And Regan Smith gets another heartbreak.
Regan Smith did finish top 5, but what a heartbreaker for him. I don't think many of these lead drivers are going to be very happy about the lap traffic. Marcus Ambrose falls to 25th after getting stuck behind the lap car. Same for Jeff Gordon. But here's a full look at your finishing order here. Carl Edwards got 10th.
Wow, we didn't talk about Carl Edwards at all.
Junior 31st. And Elaley and Martin Truex Jr. did not finish.
What a race. Oh, they almost wrecked under the cool-down lap. Michael Waltrip. Hey, you know what? Tim, you know what? You know what? Before you end this, looking at the points, Regan Smith, a couple of races ago, Regan Smith was all the way down in 20th. Regan Smith has climbed up to 9th in points now.
Speaking of that, so look at this. We have a battle. Joe Nemechek and Robbie Gordon separated by 26 points, but they have a bit of a gap back to Newman, Ruderman, Bain, Boyer,
Johnson, Earnhardt, Smith,
Michael
and then
Waltrip
Terry
nowhere
Labonte.
to be seen. Look at that. He's 23rd in the point standings.
With 2 wins.
Yep. Down at the bottom, Andy Lally. Not a good season for him at all.
Where is Mark Martin? He's 14th. And Jeff Gordon is
17th.
17.
Hendrick not
Denny,
having that bad of a year, but still
Denny,
not.
Denny Hamlin. We haven't talked about him all season, but he's in the top 20 in points. He can possibly make something happen. I mean, 10 more races to go.
What a crazy top 10 we have. We have Joe Nemechek, Robbie Gordon, David
Taylor
Ruben's up there, Trevor Bain, Regan Smith, Terry
Boyer.
Labonte, Stephen Wallace in 13th. And then look at some of the guys on the bottom. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski.
Matt Kenseth.
Well, the next race, which is coming up just in a few minutes here, Talladega Dual Race 2. We are officially halfway through this season. This has been the RRL's broadcast of the Rivals Racing Offline Championship from Talladega Super Speedway for Dual 1. We'll see you next time.